Alright folks, hopefully this video recording is going to work properly this time. This is Steve coming back, aka Little Dreaming Crow, and also known as Salmonous Dread Raven. I've kind of been away for a little bit, taking care of things. Work has had me busy, a little bit overtime here and there. As well as having to take care of my physical health in the last several months. It was never my intention to be away from my community for as long as I have, so I do offer up an apology for that. For those of you who are members of my community, I very much welcome you back, and I do appreciate you being a part of my community as well. And for those of you who are not part of my community, if this is the first time you've found one of my videos, or you're finding this particular video, I do encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to know a little bit more about myself and my practices. I try to cover more of a personal standpoint regarding my magical practices on my YouTube channel. I do book reviews as well. I haven't done any book reviews in a while. I have read a couple books in the last few months. I haven't written any reviews on those particularly as of yet. But I think with the holidays coming up, things are going to be a little more chaotic for me, especially with work. And maybe as things slow down a little bit more, I can actually start getting a few more things out here, probably towards the end of the year or beginning of 2021. Until then, I'll just try to kind of pick my way through things here and there. Other than taking care of my health and work as of late, I've also been doing a number of little projects, around in my practices. For those of you who are not familiar with, say, things like radionics, I have been doing a little more study into the topics of radionics and a few other things. I've always had a general interest in things like radionics and other types of alternative technologies and things like that. I just never really made that public, up to this point. I think back in mid-1990s, I was first introduced to radionics, and a gentleman by the name of Charles Casamano. Some people refer to him as Uncle Chucky, and back then he had made a number of radionic devices and helmets and a few other things. And it seems that radionics are starting to take a little more, make their way back into the mainstream occultism. Some people refer to it as techno-shamanism, or some other types of, I'm trying to think of the other type of magic they refer to it as. But it's just kind of interesting how things have come back, are coming back into our society in a number of ways. Things I've done the last couple months also is I've gotten rid of my Netflix. I've gotten rid of my Disney Plus accounts. I've gotten rid of my Amazon Unlimited, Kindle Unlimited account. I just haven't been doing enough reading on that, so I'm not going to spend $10 a month on something like that if I'm not using it. And I've gotten rid of all those accounts, and switched them up for a Gaia.com, GAIA.com account. Gaia TV just seems to have a lot more of the programming that I'm looking for, as far as things like, again, alternative technologies, sacred geometry, shamanism, occultism, human origin, pain management, alternatives to cancer treatment, health, yoga, just a whole slew of programming on there that is just much more geared to what I prefer as far as like programming goes. So I've been kind of like taking care of a few things with that. Something else that I've been doing is I'm still working through my Awakening with Lucifer book. I haven't done anything as of late with that. One of the last rituals I had done, and particularly with the book, the previous book that I was working with Lucifer. I want to say Rites of Lucifer, by Temple of Ascending Flame. When I had finished that book, I continued to get a lot of Gnosis on a fairly regular basis, not just over days, but weeks. And it led me to doing a lot of research regarding a lot of biblical passages. It caused me to go back and review information on things like origins of the species, origins of humanity, and how I from a personal standpoint, kind of fall in lines with a lot of the writings through Zachariah Sitchin and Michael Tellinger and a few other people. If you're not familiar with Zachariah Sitchin, he did write a number of books regarding origins of the human species, that we were more or less engineered through a race of beings called the Anunnaki, that basically used us as slaves for mining gold purposes and whatnot here on the planet. I don't really subscribe too much to the whole idea of the Bible, as far as the Holy Bible, as far as how man was created. I think that I've come to in my research throughout the years, and talking with other occultists and reviewing other occultists on YouTube, and reading books and whatnot, that come to my conclusion that that there is more to the human race than what the Christian Bible leads on. I for one kind of believe that that a lot of the stories in the Bible, and a lot of biblical experts will say that a lot of those stories have come from other traditions, as far as, or other cultures, and it was basically a lot of those stories were basically just worked into the Bible to say, okay, well, the flood, for instance, yeah, the flood happened, but it happened say 5,000 or 6,000 years prior to what the Bible is saying how it happened, for instance. And there's a lot of other things, and anyways, I don't want to get off on a tangent about that too much, but anyways, I was getting this Gnosis through I was been working with Lucifer a lot, and one of the I had done I was recording a video regarding Yahweh and just how much of a serial killer, if you will, Yahweh, or the Christian God is. If you go through and you look through like the Bible, God, or the Christian God Yahweh, is very much a very jealous, selfish child, if you will. I mean, think of like a 5-year-old, not getting his way, and stomping his feet, and then saying, oh well, these people aren't worshiping the way that I want them to, so I'm going to go ahead and send one of my lackeys out to slay their encampment, or to take over the city and ransack the city and kill all the men, and then tell them, tell my followers to take all the women and children for their own. And if you think that I'm being a little far outstretched there, I'm really not. I've been doing a lot of reading, and when I wrote when I was going to do that video in particular, I had it, and I was about ready to go ahead and release it, and then I scrapped it, just because of the fact that when I had done it, I had only used like a quarter of the information that I had collected in order to do that particular video, and then I didn't think it was going to do it justice, so I basically scrapped it, and I have not gone back to re-record it up to this point. But I still have all the information though. But this is like one of the reasons why I work with individuals, spirits such as Lucifer, for instance, because I feel that Yahweh, or the Christian God, he tells people, thou shalt not kill, but he tells a whole bunch of people, tells a lot of his followers to go ahead and murder people, left and right. And I've got like a lot of the figures regarding, how many deaths either Yahweh himself has taken, as far as like how many lives he has actually taken, or the lives through, his followers, that have taken in his name. And it's really just like in the millions and millions of, when you do all the counts, which is just very, very pathetic. And then, but you hear about the, all the Christian churches, nowadays, oh, it's Satan, it's the devil doing, doing this and that. And I mean, really, in all respects, folks, if you really read the Bible, there's not much that they really don't talk about Satan that much. They really don't talk about Lucifer all that much, which are actually two different beings to begin with as well. They don't give very much of a description on how Satan and Lucifer come into being, and how they play in their roles too much. I'm just going to kind of go out there and say that in my personal judgment, I don't believe that even if Yahweh did, was one of the individuals, or was one of the gods who actually created the human species, which I don't believe is true to begin with. I don't think that he had done it on his own. And I think we see relevance of that in the Bible when he says that no other God, you shall no other God before me. if you look at the region of the world, such as Jordan and Palestine and Israel and all that, in that particular area, and all the tribes and all the Canaanites and that were in the region during that time period, they had multiple gods, including the Israelites, including the Hebrews. They had multiple gods that they had worshipped during the time, and the only reason why they came about to worship only Yahweh was because all the tribes came together and they were comparing notes as far as like which gods were similar to how their god was similar to another tribe's god, with the same aspect or same qualities, same demeanor, same powers, or whatever. And then eventually, as time went on, eventually they became monotheistic and they started only worshiping one god at that point. But in my idea is that, again, even if Yahweh was the creator of the human race, which again I don't believe that he was, or even the sole creator of the human race, I feel that other gods, goddesses, other beings actually probably took part in that creation again. Lucifer being one of those, and I've mentioned that before. I think if not on my channel, then definitely in conversation with people where I've said, I honestly believe that Lucifer, one of Lucifer's gifts to man is intelligence. In order to have intelligence and think for themselves and free will, Lucifer definitely wanted us to have those things. God didn't want us to have those things. Yahweh did not want us to have those things. Yahweh wanted man and woman to be ignorant and basically just you can live forever and not die as long as you don't eat fruit from this tree. And I think that's actually kind of ridiculous. But as I'll get into, I'll probably get more into that as I get down to the point of actually re-recording that particular video or videos. More than likely, it's probably going to be a couple of them, just because of the amount of information that there is. Again, I don't subscribe to the idea of Yahweh being the sole creator of humanity or the human race. So anyways, you are probably up to this point, you've been listening to me ramble on a little bit as far as like what I've been doing and or not doing these last several months. On the screen there, you do see a picture of my right hand, and you probably see that little cut there on the back of my hand. A number of months back, when I was working with the Rites of Lucifer book through Temple of Ascending Flame, I had performed the final ritual in the book, and when I had done my review on that book, as well as sharing Gnosis that I received through the rituals up to that point, this was actually one of the things that came up. And I had performed the ritual that day, and then I don't know the name of the actual ritual itself, but part of the invocation process for that rite in the Rite of Lucifer book was talking about partaking of the fruit of knowledge and reaching up and taking the fruit of knowledge and consuming it and being blessed with that knowledge, and not to be ignorant over regarding your intelligence. Anyways, so I was performing this ritual, and you have to remember that as I was doing this ritual, as I was describing it in the other video, I'll try to put a link to that in the description box here when I get done with this. This is my right hand again, and during this particular ritual, which is about 15 or 20 minutes long, my ritual dagger was in my right hand the entire time for performing this ritual, and I had not scraped my hand against anything during this ritual at all. And when I was done and I had placed my ritual dagger onto my altar, I did feel a little bit of a burning sensation, and then I looked at the back of my hand and I had this scrape, and I shared this with a couple of people, I think through one of my community boards that I belong to on Facebook, and a gentleman had said, what it looks like? It looks like one of those scrapes you get from like a briar. You go reach into like a briar patch to grab a blueberry or blackberry or something. You reach in and you pull your hand out, and you have like little scrapes on your hand from all the briars, but you have that sweet, tasty fruit, in the end, and it makes it so worth it to have those few little scrapes to be able to say like I got it, it was totally worth it. When I did that original video and I put this picture in there, apparently the picture didn't come out. And I know a few people had said, well, can you share that picture? I want to look at that picture, I want to see what that picture looks like. And so hopefully that's going to be able to come through in this discussion here, or this recording. So with that, I'm not going to go ahead and keep you too much longer here. I just kind of wanted to do a filler a little bit, kind of like let people know where I've been or not been, give or take, and kind of touch base a little bit as far as where I'm going up to this point. No, I have not quit my magical practice. I'm still very much dedicated to the occult. I just have a few things going on in my life right now that I want to make sure that I'm taking care of things. It's not like I'm losing my apartment or anything like that. Everything is great. I'm still employed. Money is still coming in. I'm still relatively happy, healthy. So I just have a few things that are kind of getting my attention a little bit more than what they have in the past, and so it does come down to a matter of priorities for me at this point. As things are slowly taken care of and everything is moves forward, I'll be here a little bit more. So hopefully I'll start doing more videos on a regular basis here. And also, as another side note before I go, I have found a number of videos on my hard drive that apparently I had done things, either reviews or ritual demonstrations and whatnot. And for some reason, people would say, hey, can you go ahead and do a ritual demonstration on this, or do you can you talk about this? And I'm like, okay, well, I've already done that. It's like, I don't understand like why you're asking me, to do another video on that. And then I was actually just kind of reviewing my videos on YouTube, and comparing them to my videos on my hard drive, and I probably have 2 or 3 videos I recorded like way back in February and March, and apparently I just never uploaded these videos, and so I'm going to try to get those taken care of here over the next couple hours, or maybe day or two. And I do apologize for not getting those videos out to my community when I had completed them originally. So with that, folks, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Again, I just wanted to go ahead and share this photo. I know I had a gentleman, again, asking me a couple times about this. It's like, hey, I want to see this photo, and so there it is. So with that, folks, I bid you a very fond farewell, and hopefully life is treating you very well up to this point. A new year is almost upon us, and when hopefully things will be getting better for everybody here sooner rather than later. All right. So with that, folks, I bid you a very fond farewell. Take care. Bye.